today we'll be working with the lower body and building a foundation. Thinking about working from the ground up is a powerful way to begin. And so for practice today, you'll want a strap, a couple of blocks, and your blanket. And we'll start in constructive rest. So coming to lie down, and you can place your blocks on their lowest setting or on their medium setting, end to end. So either sort of flat or medium. Either way, I kind of like them flat for a little bit more real estate beneath the knee joint, so it's not quite as knobby. Place the blanket over. And then come to lie down. Good morning. And take a few moments to get settled. Wiggle around on your mat. Kind of the way we begin all of our practices, getting really comfortable, adjusting the props as needed to fit our body. On a comfortable place for the hands to land, whether that's on the belly or by the sides. Begin to drop into the present moment. Listening for sounds in the room around you. Maybe wiggling your fingers to really catch the texture of the clothing or of your mat. Bringing our experience into ever smaller increments of time. When we begin to lengthen our focus outside of the present moment, just acknowledge where your attention has gone, whether that's an hour from now or yesterday afternoon, and bring it into this moment. And begin to notice the breath as a three-dimensional occurrence. So for a few rounds of breath, notice the breath in the back body. Feel the breath in the back ribs. Feel the breath along the back of the spine. And feel that expansion and softening in the space behind the shoulders. And as you exhale, let the shoulders drop down. Let gravity bring you into greater contact with the earth. And then bring your focus back to the back ribs and kind of up laterally to the side ribs, just above where the ribs are meeting the earth. Kind of notice the length of those side ribs from the lowest ribs closest to the waist, to the highest ribs closer to the armpits. And where do you feel the most expansion? And again, when your focus shifts away outside of the present moment, gently bring it back in. Really training the mind to navigate the world without stress. And then bring your hands to the low ribs in front. Spread the fingers wide. And let the breath really fill the pads of the fingers, the space between the fingers. Fill the palms. And then lastly, bring one hand to heart, one hand to belly. And again, fingers spread pretty wide to capture a lot of surface area. And then let the breath grow even bigger without any tension in the face or the jaw, especially as you exhale. And as you take a couple more breaths here, just see what you're noticing throughout the rest of the body. Any places of stiffness or tightness. Let's take 2 more rounds of breath. And then reach long through the left leg and let the left leg drape back over your little bolster there. And then hug the right knee in, either capturing behind the thigh or over the shin. And if you need to, you can use your strap here to get a little bit more space so that your shoulders can relax on the ground. And then rock a little side to side. Just let that leg toggle left and right a couple times, feeling a little bit of rocking in the sacrum and pelvis. Just checking in here. And then we'll make big circles. So let the knee drift away And then in close, over to the side, forward and out. So that 2 more times in this direction. Engage the belly to begin to protect the spine. And then switch direction. See if you can get the arms to do most of the work. And then hug knee in toward chest. And then extend the foot straight up toward the sky until you get just a little super gentle hamstring stretch. So we're not going for maximum stretch here. We're just going to check in with the back of the thigh, check in with the back of the calf, check in with the Achilles tendon, the foot. And then let that right leg drop back down. And then grow the right leg long, just like we did with the left. Get that really long. And then we'll hug the knee in to start. And definitely, if you feel like you're like reaching the thigh makes you really lift your shoulders off the ground, definitely feel free to grab the strap. It's a great tool. You strap up behind your knee, hug in for a moment, and rock a little left and right. And then again, engage the belly just a bit. And then we'll do our little circles. So forward, out to the side, back in close, across the body. 2 more times this direction. And then switch, nice and slow. And then release the strap, let the leg drop long. Or actually, no, we'll do our hamstring stretch. Almost forgot that juiciest part. Press the heel up toward the sky. No need to straighten the leg, but just access that nice stretch for the hamstring. Is it closer to the back of the knee where it's most intense? Is it closer to the glutes? So lots of sensation through the calves, and just listen from breath. And then let the leg drop down again. Bring the hands back to the belly and just tune into sensation through the lower body. Feel that increase in circulation. Those nerves waking up a little bit. And then we'll straighten the legs, but keep them over the bolster. So we're going to fire up the quadricep muscles. So a little flex of the quads, reach through the heels. So really strong flex here. And then point the toes nice and strongly. And then flex the feet. And then point the toes. One more time, flex. One more time, point. And then we're going to do both feet in the same direction. So we're going to bring the toes over to the right, pull the toes back towards you, drop the toes over to the left, and then forward. Do that 2 more times. Nice, slow, steady, strong circle. And then switch direction to the other side. 2 and 3. And then let the legs relax. Feel all of that circulation come in. A little bit of heat. Even from that little engagement, the heart rate might be a little elevated. That's hard work. And then we'll keep the legs bent over your bolster and then flex the feet. So pulling the balls of the feet toward you and then point. And then pull the balls of the feet toward you, flexing the feet. Legs stay bent and relaxed. And then point. And then circles. Just a couple circles, switch direction. And it's a different ball game with the legs bent over the support rather than quads engaged. So two different kind of exercises. And then just take a moment there. Notice again. Sometimes when we do too much work with the feet and the calves straight away, we get cramps. So it's nice to just ease into that work. And then once again, hug knees to chest. Use the strap if you need to so the shoulders can relax. We'll just rock the legs left and right a couple times, nothing too intense. Excellent. And then we'll roll over to one side and then up to seated. Set your props aside. And we'll come to hands and knees into our table pose. Take your socks off if your feet are warm enough. And spread your fingers wide. We'll fire up the belly. So bring the right hand to the belly and press up until you feel those muscles to either side of the spine kind of engage and flatten out, and then use your core muscles to keep that nice flat back. Take a look back, make sure your shins are parallel with the long edge of the mat, and then arms long and strong. Inhale, lift the gaze, lift the tail, and then exhale to round. Breathing in to your cow and breathing out to cat. Let's do two more. Nice strong core engagement throughout. And then align shoulders over wrists, and then turn the pointer fingers out a bit and walk the hands about a handprint further forward. So pointer fingers are kind of pointing toward the corners of the mat. And then we'll draw forward coming into our cow pose, but rock a little bit toward the shoulders. And then exhale, press the hips back a little bit more toward the heels. Inhale, coming back through, elbows hug in rather than going wide. And then exhale, sink back. And if the shoulders feel pinchy, you might widen the space between the hands and let the eyes, the elbows, the place where you get the like an IV taken, as you come forward, let that face forward. So rather than letting your elbows drop out to the sides, we're kind of bending the elbows in toward the midline. Just a little bit. Warming up through the spine, through the core, through the arms and wrists, fingers really working hard. One more. And then we'll come on to forearms. So bring the elbows right beneath the shoulders, fingers spread wide. And then we'll do a little puppy cat and cow from here. So we'll pad the ground with the tips of the fingers. So we're really kind of gecko padding the ground with the tips of the fingers. Inhale into your cow pose. Exhale, round into cat. Breath in into cow. And breath out into cat. One more time, breath in into cow. And breath out into cat. And then bring big toes toward each other, inch the knees a little bit wider, and walk back into your child's pose. If it feels better to bring a block beneath your forehead or a block beneath your seat, or stay more toward puppy pose, that's totally fine. Whatever allows you to settle, let go of all effort. Take 3 breaths from here. What are you noticing in the present moment? One more breath in and out. And then we'll come back into our table pose. And we'll walk the hands about a handprint further forward again. So our little extended table. And this time, turn the pointer fingers a little bit inward. And again, the eyes and the elbows face each other or forward rather than kind of going out. So we're really pressed into the ground. And then we'll extend the right leg long, but keep the toes on the ground, press through the heel. So getting a nice stretch for the calf. And then tuck the toes on the left side. And then we'll find a couple rounds of our cat and cow. Breath in, breath out. And as you move through this cat and cow and you round into your cat, just see that the hip isn't wonking all the way over to the left, that the hip stays over the knee, building that stability through the low body. And then bring that right knee in. Come back to your child's pose. Give the wrists a couple circles. And switch direction. And then find rest. And just notice what you're feeling through that right leg, through the left hip. And then we'll go to the other side. So this time fingers are going to go out and find that extended tabletop. So pointer fingers facing out, just giving the wrists a different access point. We'll extend the left leg, zip up through the belly, press the ground away, right toes tuck, and then 3 of our cat and cows here. Breath in, breath out. Keep pressing back through the heel. Breath in, breath out. Right hip stays right over right knee. Breath in and a breath out. And then come back through and bring the knee back in. Come into puppy pose this time. So forearms come down. Give the wrists a little love. Couple circles. And then we'll come into a low lunge. Bring your blocks forward on their highest setting. So blocks forward on their highest setting, right beneath the shoulders. And we'll step the right foot forward. Start by aligning the right knee right over the ankle and the right knee in front of the right hip. So really starting with nice architecture. Bring the blocks that they're right beneath the shoulders and you can kind of press down. Yeah. And I like taking a peek back, make sure the back foot is nice and flat. And I like being able to feel the ground beneath my feet. So my toes are really spread. I can feel the ball of the foot making contact with the mat. Feeling the front heel, making sure it's not going to slip around any. And then we'll gently shift forward just a little bit. Getting nice little hip flexor stretch, maybe big hip flexor stretch. And then reach the left arm up toward the sky if that's available. If that feels okay, you might bring right hand to right knee. Steady down through the feet, toes spread wide, and that front foot. Nice deep breath in. And then deep breath out. Bring the hand back down and we'll switch sides. So left foot forward. Spread the toes, press through the heel. Make sure you have nice grip there. Heel to mat contact and then back leg nice and straight. Sink in just a little bit. Nothing too intense here. Little drag of front heel in toward the back knee. Reach the right arm up. If it feels okay, you might bring left hand to left thigh for a little additional lift. One more breath in and out. And then we'll switch sides again. So bring that left foot in, step the right foot out. And this one, I might recommend if you have socks on to take socks off because we want not a lot of slippiness back there, especially in the back foot. It'll help your balance to really feel the ground beneath your feet. If your feet are warm enough, totally fine. But press down through the front heel, feel all the toes in the front foot, and then we'll tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. And then bring the blocks a little bit forward so that they're right beneath your shoulders. So you can kind of look down, back leg long and strong, heart reaching forward. You can come up onto fingertips if you need to bring the ground closer. Deep breath in. And then drop it down. We'll come back into child's pose or puppy pose to find rest for 3 or 4 breaths. Building strength through the legs, through the hip girdle. Building balance. One more breath in and out. And then bringing the blocks back beneath the palms. And we'll switch sides. So stepping forward. Bring the blocks right beneath the shoulders so you can press down. And just check to see that hip to knee is in line with the long edge of the mat. And same thing in the back. So we're going to press down, tuck the back toes, really anchor through this front heel and come up. And then the heart might reach a bit more forward. Toes nice and long in front. Make sure you're not gripping the ground. Really press through the front heel, strong glutes, back thighs lifted. Another deep breath in. And then slowly lower. Instead of coming to rest, we're going to just sweep the leg back, set the blocks aside, plant the hands, tuck the toes, send the hips high, downward facing dog. Really press into the hands, press the heart toward the thighs. If the shoulders are pinchy, the arms can go a little bit wider than shoulder distance. If the hamstrings are tight, bend your knees, but really reach the pubic bone up and back, hug the belly, in and back. And then gaze forward, step forward. Breath in, bring hands to the space just below the knees and bring the shins to meet the hands, hands to meet the shins, lift from the center of the chest, maybe look up. Then exhale, bend the knees even more and round. Let the head go. And tune into those muscles in the glutes and around the tops of the thigh bones back there, the top of the hamstring. Press through the heels, rise all the way up. Breathing in, gazing up, and breathing out, hands to heart. Take a breath in And a breath out. Take another moment here. Notice what you feel. A lot of work for the legs. And then bring your blocks to the top of the mat. We'll do a little bit more work with lunge. And we'll turn our lunge into a little low lunge. All right. So we'll bring the blocks so that they're kind of shoulder width or maybe a little bit wider for space. So big breath in, sweep up, find length in the waist. Bring hands to heart, small bend in the knees, bow into your fold. Let the head go, really let the brain drop down. And then inhale, hands to blocks for your half lift. Nice long flat back. Yeah. And then we'll step the right foot back. And then bring the left knee over the left ankle. Bring the blocks right beneath the shoulders. So really strong shape here. And then gaze forward. Bring the back knee all the way down, turning it back into our low lunge. Left hand is going to reach up toward the sky. And then bend the right knee, lift the right foot. Maybe reach around. Maybe you find it, maybe you don't. Nice quad stretch. And then reach back up. Bring the foot back down. Bring the hand to meet the block. Straighten the front leg. And then maybe draw the belly away from the thigh. Rise all the way up. Back leg nice and strong. Beautiful. Nice. And then hands come back to the block. We'll step the back foot about halfway. So press down into the front foot, lift the back foot, step it about halfway at a place where you can, both feet are mostly facing forward. Those right toes might angle out a little bit. And this is our pyramid pose. Arms long and strong, belly zipping up, crown of the head reaching forward. And then bend into the front knee, press into the front heel, float the back foot to meet the front. Big bow, forward fold. Inhale to your flat back, hands to shins or blocks. Exhale, bow and fold. Let the head go, root down, rise up, sweep high. And then exhale, hands to heart. Nicely done. Bring the weight into the heels a little bit more than into the toes. And then exhale into your mountain. Hands come by the sides. And scan the body. Just maintaining that present moment focus. What's the texture of the ground beneath the feet? What's the texture of your clothing? The temperature of the air. Our brain's going to want to pull us into all different directions. But we redirect. And then when you're ready, sweep the hands up, breath in. Breath out, big bow, forward fold. Nice bent knees to start. Let the head drop down, look behind you. And then hands to blocks, find your half lift. Exhale to fold. And then we'll step the left foot back, coming into nice low lunge. So fire up through the front heel. We'll rise all the way up, high crescent lunge. Gazing forward, beautiful, nicely done. Back leg strongly lifted, front thigh pressing down. Deep breath in, and then we'll slowly lower that back knee down. Yeah, hands find the blocks. Beautiful. Bring the blocks a little bit closer to the shoulders so that they're always think about the blocks to press you away from the ground rather than mostly reaching. And then we'll shift a little bit forward. Reach the right hand up. Bend the left knee. Maybe reach back. See if you can pull the heel in toward your bum. Maybe the hand finds the foot, maybe it doesn't. Keep the heart lifted. And then reach back up. Bring the back toes down. And then bring the hand down. So both hands on blocks. Realign front ankle beneath the front knee. Straighten the back thigh. Maybe bring the blocks a little bit more forward. Since our heart's forward, our shoulders are forward. Fire up the back leg, and then maybe, if it's accessible, rise up. Stay low if that works better. Full breath in. And then exhale, hands come back to the blocks. Anchor down through the front heel. We'll lift the back foot and then plant it about halfway forward. Both legs are mostly straight, heart broad. Adjust the blocks that they're right beneath your shoulders. Sometimes it's hard to tell, but we want to make sure we're not reaching way forward or reaching back. That just feels like the blocks are right beneath our shoulders. It's broad through the collarbones, neck nice and long. Bend into the front knee, float the back foot to meet it, forward fold. Let the head drop down, look to the space behind you. And then rise all the way up. Breath in, and then a breath out, hands to heart. Nicely done. Full inhale. And then mountain. Notice what you're feeling through the body. And then we will go through a little vinyasa. So big sweep up, big bow, exhale into your fold. Set the blocks aside. Breath in, find your half lift, maybe look up. Breath out, fold, look behind. Hands find the mat. Right foot, then left foot, plank. Nice long spine, and then bring the knees down. Turn the eyes, the elbows to face forward. Hug the elbows in to touch the waist. Lower all the way down. Grow the legs long. Peel up, baby cobra. And then exhale, release down. We'll do a little quad stretch here in baby cobra. So peeling up baby cobra, look over the right shoulder, bend the left knee, but draw the heart forward and the elbows in. And then exhale, release back down, legs grow long. Peel up, roll the head through the arm bones back. Look over the left shoulder, bend the right knee. Little quad stretch. Exhale, release down. Press up through a half plank. Tuck the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Couple breaths in, dog. And then bend the knees. We'll walk the feet about 6 or 8 inches forward. ish. Don't overthink how far forward, but just walk the legs. So you're making a little bit of a shorter downward facing dog. Your knees will bend, and then you'll bring your right foot up away from the mat and then cross the right foot behind the left. So coming into a little cross leg down dog, shimmy the hips a little side to side, and the heels probably won't meet the ground, but you can usually get a juicy stretch through the outer hip there. Keep pressing into the hands. Maybe sink the heel a little bit. And then come back through center, drop the knees to the ground, and we'll take rest. Bring the hands off the mat, roll the circles a couple times, either child's pose, puppy pose. The hands might even come back by the feet if you drop all the way down into your child's pose. And then we'll make our way back into downward facing dog. Fingers spread wide, untuck or tuck the toes, stretch the hips up and back, and then walk the feet 6 or 8 inches closer. And then we'll cross left over right. And then shimmy the hips. If it feels better to make your dog long again, step the feet back. But keep pressing into the hands. Don't come into a tabletop shape. So we really want to keep the heart pressing back toward the thighs, getting that extension through the shoulders. Sink into the heels if that feels good. Little wag left and right. And then uncross the legs. And instead of coming to child's pose or puppy, we'll gently walk the feet to the hands or the hands to the feet, whichever works better. Inhale to your flat back. Exhale, round and fold. Root down, rise up, sweep high. And then exhale, hands to heart. Breath in and a breath out. Nicely done. Let's take 3 breaths. And then we'll do a little work with lunge and with the strap, but coming into our low lunge. And so you'll bring your strap to one side, sort of toward the tail end of the mat. Bring your blocks. And so what we'll do is let's start by strapping the left ankle. And it might be even the ball of the foot, depending on where you're able to get the best purchase from. And so you'll just set that aside, have that handy, and step the right foot forward. And sink in a little bit, root down. And then shift the hips back, find your strap. And just bring your strap into your hand. Sink a little bit into that stable low lunge. And then bend into the foot. And I like kind of Santa strap, Santa bag. Yeah, drawing the foot in a little bit toward the heel. And that nice quad stretch. One more breath in and out. Maybe flex the foot, lift the heart, and then set that foot back down. Unwind the strap. Step the other foot forward. Strap up the other foot if you'd like. totally optional. Get the strap to be nice and long. Bring the strap into your hands. Set up with your little hip flexor stretch to start. Root down. And then draw the foot in. Use the strap to bring the foot in closer if you would like. A little Santa strap over the shoulder. Breathing into the front of the hip. One more breath in and out. And then release the strap. And then come to kneeling. And we will sit up on a block, and then we'll bring the blanket beneath the knees. So find your strap. Sitting up on a block. Bring your sitting bones right to the very edge of the block, and the blanket kind of rolled up beneath the knees. And this allows you to come into a little bit of a anterior pelvic tilt. So my pubic bone is sort of dropping down and a little bit back, and my tailbone sort of sticking out a little bit. And then strap up your feet. Strap nice and long, flex the feet, and let the feet be about hip distance, maybe a little bit wider. Roll the heads of the arm bones back, and then we're not going to allow ourselves to come into this collapsed shape. We're just going to stay really broad, broad through the chest, broad through the collarbones. Come down any amount. Keep the elbows in by the waist, coming into a little forward fold, little nod of the chin. And then getting an active stretch through a couple cat and cow type stretches. So breathing in, look up, let the shoulders roll back, stick your bum out a little bit more. And then breathing out, round the shoulders, tuck the tail, bow in. So breathing in, sternum reaches forward, shoulders draw back, look up. Breathing out to round. 2 more times. Breathing in, maybe flex a little bit more through the feet. Breathing out, maybe point and round. Last time, breathing in and breathing out. And then we'll keep the strap around just the right foot. Bend the left knee. So the left foot can just stay planted in. And then if it feels okay, drop the knee out to the side. The left knee drops out to the side. Only if it feels okay, come into a little forward fold. Heart nice and broad. And then come on up. And then switch. Switch that left foot in the strap. Right knee bends, right foot on the ground. Let the right knee drop to the outside. Come into your forward fold. Just a couple breaths. You can support the leg from dropping too far wide with your arm. And then come back in. Set the strap aside. Bring the soles of the feet together, knees wide. You can even support underneath the ankles and the shins, and that'll keep the legs from going too wide. Sit up nice and tall. Come into a little twist. So left hand finds somewhere on the outside of the right leg. It might be near the ankles. It might be closer to the knee. Left or right arm comes behind. Little twist, let the legs relax. And then we'll switch. Right arm comes across. Left arm reaches behind, sitting up tall. And then coming back through center, find one more forward fold. Let the head go. Let the shoulders round and melt. And then we'll come on to the mat. Option to do a little heart opener over the block. So our block is right there. And you can bring the block right beneath the shoulder blades. If it's too intense, you might bring a block beneath the head as well. So blanket can stay beneath the knees, bringing the block right beneath the shoulder blades, the other block beneath the base of the skull. Arms can go wide. If this is too intense, definitely feel free to calm down. It's not for everybody's spine for sure. You can wiggle around a little bit, get the bony bits of the shoulder blades right over the block on its lowest setting. Some people like it a little bit more intense by dropping the head down. Really yogi's choice here for just a couple breaths. Finding that three-dimensional breath once again. Present moment awareness. Back ribs, side ribs, front ribs. And if you're in this heart opening shape over the block, see if you want to stay here for final relaxation. And if you do, great. If not, you'll just gently roll to one side, reach around, take the block out, and come to lie down. Taking your time to make sure that you're comfortable. Invite the inhale into every available space. If there's anything that you've been really holding on to, any worry or concern, just invite the breath to make space. You might visualize the breath clearing out cobwebs of sort of that energetic yuck that we can have. Bringing in a brightness and a vibrancy to the energy body. And begin to deepen and lengthen the breath. And if you'd like, bring one hand to heart, one hand to belly. Just see how expansive and freeing the breath can be. Feel the softness of the skin and the fabric beneath your fingertips. Feel the warmth of your body. Take another breath or two here. Letting go of anything else that feels stuck. One more big expansive inhale. And a big cleansing exhale. Take a full body stretch, roll the wrists, roll the ankles, maybe a little point and flex again. And then roll to one side, pause there. Ooh, big yawn. And then press your way back up to seated, taking your time. And then once you're there, let the spine grow nice and tall, the shoulders soft, the heart open. We'll sweep the hands out and up one more time, breathing in, take up space, breathing out, hands to the center of gratitude at the heart. And the light in me sees and honors the light in you. I hope you have a beautiful day, yogis. I hope you